So to me, authenticity is about the voice, about the full picture, about the numbers and the story together.
And that's why I think being authentic in your storytelling is not just being true to what you are, but willing to share the dirty parts of that story as well.
So I think benchmarking and being honest about what is likely to be achieved is important.
The beauty of the ability to even create and find solutions, innovate, becomes stronger when purpose is integrated with business goals.
In your experience, what would be the top challenge that a social sector entrepreneur faces?
I would simply put patient, fit for purpose capital.
Still seeing a lot of people working in a fragmented way for the same cause. I think the more people can come together, you can amplify resources.
Let's move on to the next segment of our discussion, where I'll have a word or two for your immediate response. But I think taking from what you said just now on that what you're doing should not be exploitative in any way. Have you come across situations or how do you handle situations where you're not compromising on the dignity of the communities? I think that is something. Shiv, your take on that?
No, I'll again probably give an example because our audience probably will connect with it. We did this study of cotton farmers, and these are organic cotton farmers who were given money, inputs, and various other things. And then the result of the impact assessment, Nandini, showed that a large percentage of farmers were still, when we tested the soil, we found inorganic material, right? And when we reported this to the donor, they were quite unhappy with us and the methodology and the study, right? Yes. And my team was taken aback. We said, look, we went to find the truth, and we are telling you the story that this is what it is, right? 50% or whatever percentage of farmers are not following organic practices, right? Yeah. And the messenger was getting shot. And here is my principal investigator for this program who used humor so beautifully. The opening statement, he knew this was a very sensitive issue and the donor was shooting at us. And he actually put that slide first, although it was somewhere in the middle. And he said, what do we do with these naughty farmers? Right? Yeah. And it's such a beautiful shift, right? Yeah. Very, very subtly, he said, it's not us, we are just the messenger. Yeah. Right? And secondly, he said, naughty farmers. He just, people laughed nervously and then they said, yeah, you're right. I mean, this happens, what do we do about it, right? Yeah. So I think this is an example where I think humor, and Vivek agrees with me on this, a lot more humor is required in the sector. It is there. We need to surface it more for communication. I'm really looking forward to 10 stand-up comedians getting a feed of all the social sector jokes, right? It's hilarious some of the times. And Vivek has been telling me to write a book. Vivek, definitely there are going to be lots of humorous stories and bunglings by us, right? I've kept a joke book where I'm capturing all these funny things for the last 30 years.
Oh, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. But I mean, just goes to show the power of storytelling and the power of communication.
Absolutely.
And communicators working on this. Yeah, totally. But what metrics should one be looking at to evaluate success?
It's complex. One size doesn't fit all here. So I think it has to begin, like I was alluding to earlier, at the very beginning of what are you trying to really achieve here? Because depending on that, your matrices will vary. And at what inflection point in the program will you sort of test each of those things? So currently the thinking is, a lot has to be invested at the very onset to define what these parameters can be. It could be, as simple as, numerators that you want to fix in terms of where you're going, or at the denominator level, what aspects of change are you going to track? Like in the case of Jaipur rugs, right? The fact that family relationships are changing, the equation between husband and wife are evolving, I think is a significant social marker that you want to track and see what is that leading to. Is it changing the way that community is now functioning, the way they respect women, all of that, right? So you have to define that. I think that varies from program to program. With the impact sector, you can't have one size fits all kind of an approach. So that's very important. Like, for example, another example I could give is we've been doing something with the Educate Girls program to really ensure girls complete their 10th education. Now there the parameters are really about, one of the biggest things is fear, right? To leave home and go, even if you just cross a kilometer, but it's not a safe environment. What will actually bring about that quality of safety? Now, what do you communicate around that to drive change amongst the men in the environment that people can start perceiving this? So you custom create your matrices from that point of view.
Yeah, very true. Shiv, in your experience, what would be the top challenge that a social sector entrepreneur faces in trying to do what they are trying to do?
I would simply put patient, fit for purpose capital. Patient because it needs to understand failure rates. It also needs to be long term. Fit for purpose because I think grant donations, I think are old style. We need to look at outcome-based financing. We need to look at results-based financing. We need to look at impact bonds. We need to look at SIBs. I think there is a lot more, and I'm not saying grant it is not the way. In some cases, it's an extremely good tool, right? But the returnable grant should be also another way, right? Sometimes you are able to generate enough value that you are actually able to repay the donor. So I would say patient. Yeah, it happens. It happens. And I'll share an example with you. Currently, on the results-based financing that we're working with Merck for Mothers, we are actually looking at the complete program becoming self-financed on our own. And our work with sex workers, for example, we started a bank with them, right? And today, they were taking money from the government to do the program. Now they're complete self-sustaining their health program out of their community bank. And they're paying me a dividend on top of it, Nandini, right? Because for the last 10 years, they've become profitable.
That's remarkable. I mean, it's something like that, yeah.
Purpose-led, funds are the future, in my view.
But anything you want to add in terms of top challenge?
I think one aspect is collaboration. We're still seeing a lot of people working in a fragmented way for the same cause. I think the more people can come together, you can amplify resources. So that's why, I think the COVID Action Collab, the Community Action Collab, a lot of the examples I gave you, the Bharat Tech Action Initiative or the Life Skills Collaborative, all are trying to now bring multiple donors, multiple implementation partners working towards one goal. Sort of a common theory of change that gets created, resources get pooled so that we're all working towards achieving one singular thing. That probably we need more of that, and corporates can play a significant role, I feel, in mobilizing that kind of support.
One quick trend that you see or expect to see?
Definitely the growth of outcome-based financing. Right. That's going to be a big one.
Anything you want to add as another trend that you see or expect to see, Shiv?
Yeah, no, I second what Vivek said, and I would also say more Indian funding and more corporate objectives and social sector objectives combining together to create purpose. I see these as two big trends.
Yeah.
And for comms people, any key elements for good PR campaigns in this sector that you want to put down, say 2-3 key elements?
I think really, for me, it again boils down to really purpose.
Purpose.
I think, help the organization see how it can marry that. See, very often when you're entrenched in business, you can't see that. I think we as comms people can do that. That's the benefit we can bring to the industry. Marry purpose and business objectives is what I would say.
And Shiv, the last one to you. I mean, there is so much of data, I'm guessing, that is being collected at various legs. And now with the Digital Personal Data Protection Piece also Act which has come, how do you see one navigating this? I mean, as long as it remains in the physical mode is different. Moment is going to get digitized, the Act is going to apply.
Yeah, two things here, Nandini. One is, the digital divide is real. 30 to 40% of Indians don't have a phone or internet connection, right? One of the things I'm really obsessed with is rapidly, not wait for things to happen, rapidly remove the digital divide. I think that is step one, because your question doesn't apply to those individuals at all, right? But even if, let's say, they are registered in Aadhaar or they have their personal data, I personally feel that India has been ahead of all other places when it comes to technology and data, particularly, Aadhaar has shown us how it can be done, right? So my sense of it, I think India and social development world should adopt Web 3.0 and really move very, very rapidly to POD, which is the personal online data systems, which are locally available but can be served by the user. I think that's the future. I think we have been very futuristic in terms of Aadhaar. I think the next real step is Web 3.0, using Swarm, using POD, and using IFPS, and really moving things forward, right? And ensuring that my data or your data is under your control or my control. And that is possible under Web 3.0. And I think that's where we should move rapidly.
Got it. Thank you very much, Shiv, Vivek, for joining this discussion today. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, Nandini. Thanks for inviting me, and pleasure to interact with you and Vivek today.
Thank you. This promises to be very exciting. Thank you.
As I reflect on our discussion, several takeaways stand out for me. Number one, corporates have significant power to address societal and economic challenges, impacting the well-being of individuals and contributing to a better future, particularly for the vulnerable segments of our society. Number two, transparency, authenticity, and ethical communication are foundational elements for creating meaningful social impact. And number three, the collaboration between corporates and the social sector, coupled with strategic communication efforts, holds immense potential to drive positive change for sustainable long-term impact. To all my colleagues in PR and communications, I hope these discussions inspire action at your end so that together we can play a role in driving meaningful change and elevate the impact of social sector initiatives of our organizations. The journey towards positive transformation begins with each of us. Do share in comments any social impact initiative that you have seen transforming the lives of people around you. Thank you.